Hey everybody, Lawler here with another Rocket League news video. Two major things we're going to be discussing in this one. Psyonix put out a post yesterday talking about how Rocket League is going to be going free to play this summer, as well as a couple adjustments coming to some other features in the game. And if you guys didn't see it, ESPN actually ended up announcing a $25,000 tournament. And as always, if you guys enjoy the content, you know what to do. Social medias and everything else that are showing up here can be found down below in the description. Make sure you guys give those a like and a follow to make sure you guys support me in any way possible if you feel it. And if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, as well as hit subscribe and turn on notifications, as it does help me out greatly. But with that said, let's get into the video. So if you guys haven't seen the latest blog post and announcement through Psyonix, what was originally dated as July 28th was pushed to July 21st in this. I don't know why this date was wrong on the initial post, but who knows? Maybe that means that the update's going to come in a week. Who knows? But it was announced that Rocket League is finally going free to play. This is probably the most requested thing across the entire board from everybody that is wanting some changes. This is kind of that next step to make Rocket League as big as possible. If you guys remember back, they ended up doing a free-to-play weekend a long time ago, and it ended up having like a concurrent player base of like 500,000 people, which is pretty crazy. It's actually a lot of people. It's like Dota numbers almost. So the biggest hurdle I have with a lot of friends is like, yes, it's a car soccer game. Yes, it's very easy to understand. It's a little difficult to play. People either find out that they fall in love with the game, or they end up hating it based upon what the actual core concept of the game is, and they become obsessed. I want you guys to kind of look back and think about what it was all about. When you guys first booted up the game, and the kind of feeling that you had when you were just so new to it, and how like entrancing it was to play. I had the idea that as John being one of the biggest content creators that Rocket League has with over 1.1 million subs, he's going to have a really good outlook from the casuals perspective as well as the content creators perspective. And I'm going to bring him in. We're going to talk kind of the pros and cons and discuss a little bit more into detail about what this update can actually provide. So that'll happen later on in the video. As you guys know, I use the little topic things down below, so you should be able to just kind of follow along with that. Looking at the blog post itself, summer 2020, they're supposed to be releasing this update that is going to make things free to play. It says, after nearly 5 years, millions of players, and billions of soccer matches played, it's time to talk about the next chapter of Rocket League. And I think that's named appropriately. It is going to be the next chapter between the circuit system for the Rocket League esports scene, as well as bringing in an influx of new players. Free to play is the way to go. They then say formalities about being here without the dedicated community, and that they're excited to announce that they're gearing up to make the community even bigger. By late summer, it's going free to play. So what exactly does this mean? Gameplay for the game you know and love. Core gameplay will remain the same, but we are refining the main menus to make exploring the game easier. The menu and the GUI interface, or the graphic user interface, has come through a couple iterations. The first one was when you ended up hitting play, all the actual like cues were on the right hand side, where it was just like a drop down menu of all of them, and you could select which ones you wanted. Like, I hate that I can't queue drop shot and 2v2 ranked and 1v1 casual at the same time. It just won't let me do it. But in the past, you could, before those things were really a thing. You were able to do casuals, Rocket Labs, and ranked all at the same time, and you could see all your ranks and stuff. I do like the look of the new one. I think the new one is a little bit cleaner, but I think functionality actually misses the mark a little bit on. But for the menu itself to kind of get a revamp, hopefully it does make things a little bit cleaner, and they put a little bit more emphasis into the way that the shop performs and everything else. Quite honestly, I expect it to look a lot like we see Fortnite right now, because if you guys didn't see in this post, the game is going to be available on the Epic Games Store, and that's kind of what they talk about next. So they're talking about they're going to be revamping and improving major features like tournaments and challenges. The tournaments beta came out years ago, was not full-fledged, missed out on a lot of features, still doesn't work. The fact that if I play in a tournament, I also can't spectate my own tournament is a huge problem. Spectating has been an issue for a long time. You just miss out on a lot of features, and it feels like there could be so much more to tournaments. So the fact that they're trying, let me scroll down so you guys can actually see what I'm reading here. They're trying to make it a better version of itself, and the same thing applies to challenges. Right now, challenges are used for the battle pass, to where if you want to get additional XP, play this much, or do this thing, or wear this item, or say this quick chat so many times. It's nothing really too crazy. It's just more of an additional way to incentivize things. So I know Psyonix mentality-wise has always had this difficulty of telling you to score X amount of goals or do this amount of things. They try to leave it as broad as possible and inclusive as possible. So it can be score goals, make saves, or assists. And the reason they do that is they don't want the player base to play a certain way, because then you're going to get people trying to go for goal steals, and it's going to kind of ruin the situation when it comes to actually playing a match. So I know a lot of that is kind of the focus that they've had in mind. I'm actually interested to see what they do for the kind of refocus of this and how they're going to bring it about to improve it like they say they want to. The other thing that I think that's a really big deal is cross-platform progression. A lot of people have the difficulty of, if they own the game on multiple platforms, each platform is individualistic in the sense of my progression on Steam does not carry over to PlayStation, does not carry over to Xbox. That kind of setup is really frustrating. I know a lot of people have the game on multiple platforms, and it's going to be even more so that sense when you go free to play. The ability to just boot up your account with all your items and everything from platform to platform is great. The one thing that they did talk about in the post, and I'll see if I can find, it's actually Durkin who ended up replying to one of the tweets talking about how trading will not be a thing cross-platform. And part of the reason why is the economy that comes with each kind of individual ecosystem when it comes to Steam versus console and stuff is not only do you have to get the agreements across every single platform, I mean, Sony and Microsoft and Valve all would have to communicate and be okay with it, and Nintendo in this case, but it ruins the economy and how much the value of the items are worth. So again, they don't want to do that, so it's too much of a difficulty. So trading won't be cross-platform, but the fact that you'll be able to have cross-platform progression when it comes to your actual account is pretty cool. So I personally don't like the Epic Game Store. I think that the actual launcher is very clunky. It does not run clean. Part of that is because I've been using Steam for so many years, but the Epic Game Store just feels bogged down. It does not feel good. With Fortnite having so many players, the concept to me is that, hey, we've got this fun game, Fortnite, super friendly, super casual for everybody. You can pick it up, you can play it, whatever. There's a ton of tournaments that happen to it. But you know what? You're kind of burnt out on it. You're not really feeling it, and you log out. And all of a sudden you see right next to that is this other game that's like car soccer. It's free to play, it doesn't hurt you. Let me just try it and see if I like it. And that alone, I think, is going to bring in a ton of different players. And the part that worries me the most, and I'll talk more about this with John, is that I don't think the servers right now are in a good place to where we want a bunch of players to kind of come in. Servers already are having some issues, and I really hope that they address this and focus on this, because if the game goes free to play and there's literally no limitation, the game is already a top 10 seller on Steam, you're going to have so many people come in and try this game out where I am actually worried. I mean, you're talking the player base is about to triple based on what we've seen in trends of the past. And the servers, if they do not get better, are going to be such a problem, and there's going to be a huge outcry of problems with it. The other focus on it is people that have the mentality about smurfing. Smurfing is always going to be an issue. There's nothing you can do about smurfing. It will always exist in any game. And because of that, even with that mentality, doesn't mean you should just lie down and take it. You can create situations to help prevent it. Many games like League of Legends or CSGO require their players to hit a certain requirement of experience gained, whether it be a level-based system. Rocket League also has a leveling system where you have to hit X amount of level, unlock so many champions like in League of Legends. That way, the people that are looking to make a Smurf account don't and are kind of deterred from doing it with ease. And I hope that makes sense. All in all, there's going to be a bunch of new players coming in, which means that all of us that have been kind of played and that are going to be treated as legacy players have the benefit of the know-how. So, again, good influx. It's going to hopefully balance out the rank system a little bit, which is also getting revamped like I talked about in a previous video. So, a lot of different things coming here. The big thing that they're talking about then is for the legacy players, the people that have already played since this was announced. Once Rocket League goes free to play, anyone who owns Rocket League on any platform, including Steam, will be able to play and enjoy the game with full support for future updates and features. So, for those that do not like the Epic Game Store like myself, I don't have to use it. I can continue to use Steam as a platform for the legacy players, like I've mentioned a couple times here. Anybody who has played Rocket League online before the launch of free to play, so that it even includes people who haven't played it yet and would like to play now, they're going to be rewarded legacy statuses, which includes the following. All the DLC. So everybody's been asking, well, how do I get the Skyline? How do I get the old Batmobiles? How do I get the Jeep from Jurassic Park? How do I get these things? every single Rocket League branded DLC. So ones that are not put on by Warner Brothers and everything, get all of those for free, which I think is awesome. It's a great way to include it. You will also get a title for the first year that you played Rocket League. Rocket League came out in 2015, so I will get an established 2015 title. I'm curious on if those are going to just be another gold title or if they're going to make those a little bit more unique based upon the year. I hope they do that. A really cool way to show some flair for each year. We're also going to be taking the common items from like a long time ago when you first logged in, kind of the items when you were leveling your account to 74 or 75 for the first time before you became a Rocketeer. Those items are going to be transitioned into the legacy quality, which provides a level of exclusivity and will actually probably increase the value of them if they do allow those to be traded. They also have the Golden Cosmos boost, the DSC Aura wheels, and the Huntress player banner. Huntress, if you guys know, is kind of like the Infinity Mirror decal, and that's going to be a player banner as well. Yeah, it looks exactly like this. What do the other ones look like? That's the title. Golden Cosmos boost, that's actually pretty sweet. It's kind of close to the Alpha boost. Not exactly though. Faded Cosmos actually looks even cooler. Wheels aren't too bad, pretty clean. But in addition, if you played online before this announcement, so if you guys played any time before today when I'm recording this video or the day before, right now it is the 21st of July. So if you've ever played Rocket League before the 21st of July, you will get the Faded Cosmos boost, which is the black and white one, the monochromatic one, which is actually pretty cool. I actually really like that. Legacy rewards will be granted once the free-to-play version launches later this summer. There's a lot more to share about that, so stay tuned in the coming months. So the big things we're paying attention to is how are they going to upgrade tournaments and the challenger system? Are they going to have any features kind of implemented when it comes to a deterrent for Smurfs? Are there any focuses on the servers? Because they have been a problem for a while. And what does it mean for the menu system? How are things going to adjust in that sense? So a lot of questions that we still have, and hopefully they announce these over the course of the next bit. But rather than talking about it kind of on my own, let's bring in JonSandman to see and kind of discuss the pros and cons that we have based upon initial thoughts, and hopefully we keep this one a little short. All right, guys, at the beginning of the video, I talked about more of the business side of things, but I wanted to get a different perspective, and who better to do it with than the one and only JonSandman. Everybody knows me as the guy who plays with JonSandman, not a Rocket League commentator. Dude, I get it more than anything else. In any game when I actually play, I get the guy that plays with JonSandman, not RLCS commentator or casting. I get guy who plays with JonSandman. That's how I get recognized more than anything to this day.
Good.
So.
Good. This is a good thing.
But yeah, man, I wanted to bring you in.
We jammed a lot. We jammed a lot together.
We did. Things have changed, man. Things have changed.
Yeah, I mean, you're all newsy now, dude. You're all like legit. Like, where do I find out my news? I go to Lawler. Like, God, it's so serious now.
It's like I'm trying to pay my bills or something, you know?
Yeah, it's like, geez, you care about like your friends and family, and you got to do what you got to do. I get it. So 2019.
So to provide a little bit of perspective of this, anytime that organizations get bought out, or developers get bought out. I mean, you talk about like Activision Blizzard, all that kind of stuff. Usually the transition takes about 1.5 to 2 years. That's pretty common for the parent company to really start to make their effect. The benefit, I think, with this one is because Psyonix and Epic have worked together in the past, that relationship has already been built a little bit. And the fact that it's the exact same engine. So that also helps. But I agree with you, man. When they were like, "Yep, Epic's buying the game," I'm like, "All right, it's gonna go to the Epic Game Store. It's gonna go directly in line with Fortnite, and it's gonna go free to play." Like,
and even like a couple months ago, they were announcing all these games like GTA 5 and like Civilization, and I was like, "Where's Rocket League?" Okay,
because they said like, "Yeah, Epic Game Store is the plan," and then it just like never happened. So I think we all knew it was a matter of time. It's just when that time was going to be. So I'm glad that we're now finally at that point, because I think
it makes sense. They haven't been doing anything, dude. It's been Rocket League's been dry,
and
it's
like a hard transition to do this stuff. I can't
without
imagine.
Without a doubt. But like with no announcement of it, everyone was just like, "What the heck's going on?" And like their responses were like a lot of times were just like, "Oh, you know, server work and like making sure it's running well." It's like, dude, this is getting like crazy how long we haven't heard anything. The idea, here's what gets me so pumped.
Yeah, give me like your hot take initial reactions for like from my audience. Like, what's your perspective from like the casual side?
Okay, from the casual side,
my fan base 100% is more of like, give me all the juicy details about the esports scene, what's gonna happen.
Right. So at the end of this episode, guys, I'm going to tell you some really juicy details about Crow. I have a huge secret to release about Crow Novi. I swear, So you got to watch all the way to the end of the episode, and I'm going to whisper it, so you're not going to know. So guys, yeah, I'm sorry. There's no way. Crow's a great guy. Here's what got me excited. I remember so clearly the first time I played Rocket League, and the first months of playing and being dumb and just jumping around and diving and learning how to fly and aerial practices and all that. And I remember that being some of the most fun gaming I've ever had in my life. So I know this sounds cheesy, but I'm super excited for new people to experience this game. I don't know why. That just like, that warms the cockles of my heart, dude. Like,
nice word choice. Hopefully not demonetized for it, but no, I agree with you, man, because I said the exact same thing. If I told like my audience, go back and look at the first time you booted up the game and you actually really like were enticed to play every single day, and it's the same feeling of like you want people to enjoy the same things you enjoy. It's the same thing as like going to a movie and you're sitting and watching the trailers, and the first thing you do is you turn to your buddies, if you're with any, and go like, yo, what do you think about that? It's the same exact concept. So, and
it's fresh, dude. It's fresh. It's the game will be on a new platform, which will, I'm hoping, kind of inspire, and when new players are playing it, there's gonna have to be this new wave of energy that goes through the company that like gets some new things out there, right? You even said we saw that they're changing the tournament system. They're going to be, however they're going to be doing, like adding new things. It's just, there's got to be a next step. So like everything just felt so stale in Rocket League, and like it was just the same old thing. And I feel like this might be the fire that gets things reignited or started. I could be wrong. Sure. Everything could fall apart. Servers could be overloaded and everyone's lagging everywhere. Oh man, the toxicity that came in from the new players, how dare them. All the things that people are worried about, I could be wrong, but I am, in my mind, I'm like, dude, there's far more positives than negatives.
Yeah, so the biggest concern that I've always had is for like the monetary and the business side is Rocket League has always been a very high on the mark for top seller when it comes to Steam. It's always done super well. And that's part of the reason why I think the transition took so long, is because they continue to still get that $20 or $10 sale that comes in every year from holidays and everything else. So it's like, what's the point of making it free to play when we still pull all these sales? So
without a doubt,
yeah, with it going free to play, it's like you already have a Rocket Pass system, the Blueprint system. You always have, your Battle Pass, as they refer to it in all the other games, but you already have financial structure built in. So why do you need another one? And it goes back. PlayStation Plus, when the game originally came out, 4 million downloads.
I talked about that yesterday. 4 million.
You have that sustainability already.
The biggest jump ever in Rocket League, right? The biggest jump.
When you get that new influx of players, I hope it gets the shift away from we need to do everything revenue, and it transitions the shift to community. What can we do for the community? And I know the number one thing you and I talk about is the hope that because Epic already has a creative mode for Fortnite, it is a different engine. It's Unreal Engine 3. Things do not... It's spaghetti code. It's terrible. I hope that they do something with the help of Daddy Epic, because they make the engine. They are the most well-versed. That this is kind of like the passing of the torch. It is no longer Psyonix making all the decisions. It is Epic that is the parent of Psyonix making these decisions. They get the full workforce and everybody else behind it.
And I know people get so like... Well, Epic, look what they did to Fortnite. They ruined the game.
They made it the biggest game in the entire history of the world.
Fortnite was, there was moments in my life, at least, where I was like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever.
It changed the industry.
Put in a code,
the industry, man.
A code. You could put in a code with all your friends, and you're all playing on a custom map that someone made. And it was like this.
I thought you were going to sell out real quick and tell these people to use code LAWL for the creative code and be like, yo, go support your boy. And I was like,
is that your code, LAWL?
Yeah, man. You and I had this conversation. You're like, make it 4 digits, like super small. I was like,
I'm code Sand, I'm representing.
So to flip the switch a little bit, obviously a lot of positives. Big influx of players, going to provide a new perspective. It does put a lot of pressure on Psyonix. They really need to sell it. They need to make sure that servers run better than they ever have with all these new players. Like, it is going to be... like you said, a fire lit underneath to make sure they're motivated. But at the same time, there's a lot of negatives that come with that.
Got a lot of people in my, I asked them a question. I was like, what's bad? What's bad about this going free to play thing?
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying, will I get my money back? Because I paid $20, dude. Like, this is BS. Like,
Why would you
I
get
just
your money
bought the
back?
game. That's what I'm saying. Why would you get your money back?
If I go to a store
Yep.
and I buy a thing,
Yep.
and that thing 6 months, a year, 5 years later goes on sale, why would they value that at the new price? Like, it's outdated. It's
That's
old
what I was
merchandise,
thinking.
right? Like, if it's within 30 days, I do agree. Like, if you bought Rocket League within the past 30 days, I think Psyonix should allow you to redeem a refund. You don't get the legacy stuff if that's the case, but they should enable you to get a refund. I don't see
It'd be cool. 2020, yeah. I think I understand how it could be frustrating, especially when you just purchase something or you spend your $20 that you've worked on getting and you buy something and then it comes out for free. But that is life, kind of. It's just the way it is. And like Lawler was saying, like, if it's something that is within the past 30 days, yes, I would understand. But like complaining about that you bought it 2 years ago, how much fun have you had with it?
Think about the amount of time and effort that you put into a game, like the amount of enjoyment you got out.
Yeah.
If I get to take away all those experience and memories that you've made over the past 2 years, but you get your $20 back, is that an even trade for you? If the answer is no, like,
the answer is yes. What happened? You must have like bought it and then
who hurt you? What happened?
Who hurt you?
We're here for you.
Yeah, we are here in the comments. You can just let us know.
Speaking of comments, I mean, obviously you put out your video yesterday. Is there any questions from your community that it kind of have? Maybe some that I can preemptively hit for the guys watching on my end.
Yeah. Does Epic have support for custom maps? I think is like one of the biggest things.
They do for Fortnite, obviously.
They do for Fortnite.
But whether that'll be for us, I know a lot of people, especially console, just wish the capabilities to put in a creator code
it would be so crazy.
And just boot up and have dedicated servers. I've talked about this at length numerous times. It's like one of the biggest things they need. I come from like Warcraft back in the day. That game's older than probably 90% of your fan base.
Halo, man. Hey, you watch it, buddy.
The game's almost 2 decades old, man. All right.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, custom games like that from Warcraft and everything is where I come from, and the game still exists to this day because of those reasons. So the work that Let3 has put in, I genuinely wish people had the ability to just boot up that, host it, and then their friends download the map if they join. They're good.
I think Rocket League would be 2 times bigger if that was the case. 2 times is an understatement.
It would be one of the biggest games in the world, easily.
Here's my thing for you, because you know more about the pro side. I'm also excited for esports for this, man.
100%.
In my mind, this is the chance for it now to become a #1. Because in my heart, it is a #1 esport. But like, truly believe that becoming free to play, more people on it, more eyes on it, anyone can try it. We'll get more people involved, and it can be like a #1 huge esport.
Yeah, the plan for me, like if I was the one running the show, the plan I think would have been when the Intel Extreme Masters, for when the event was going to happen in the Olympics in Japan. That would have been an international event, a bunch of eyes on it. That would have been the perfect time to be like, okay, this influx of new eyes is going to happen. And rather than having this limitation of, oh, that's kind of cool, maybe I should try that. Oh, it's $20. No, never mind. Now that it's free to play, you're still going to get that influx of eyes on it and new players. All these people that, are drained or burnt out on Fortnite after a day, they come and go on the Epic Game Store, and all of a sudden, what's this car
right there?
Game? It's free. Yeah. That influx is going to give us that same opportunity, and all those players then carry into when, RLCX circuit system, 22 events, 27 tournaments and weeklies. Like, you're talking, it's so much Rocket League, and that's not even including the daily stuff that these guys can come and compete in and entice them to bring in new pros. Like, influx of new players can inspire new players to become pros. Like, you don't know the effect residually it's going to have. It's massive. When
you play Rocket League for your first time ever, you get it after a couple games. You understand what you have to do. You understand there's 3 of you on one, and then you watch pros and you're like, oh, man, this is amazing. You know the concept. It's just like when I watch soccer, basketball, football. I understand the rules. I get like the penalties. I get like some things. Obviously, I complain about some, but like I get it, so I can watch it and enjoy it. And Rocket League is the most simple. Compare that to like League of Legends, where you're like, what the hell? Lanes, bottom lane, why is there someone going through a jungle? Why is there ganking? What does ganking mean? Like, Rocket League is so cut and paste. It's so simple to understand.
Same, man. The game being free to play with that esports button in game, I definitely expect viewership to go up.
The last thing, just to brush on, a lot of people in my comments were asking, do you think there's going to be a cross-platform trading? because it says cross-platform progression. So a lot of these things, Lawler and I are kind of speculating on. We're just talking about. We don't know anything. I don't know anything. And what do you think about that? Do you think they'll ever do cross-platform trading?
No. So cross-platform progression just basically means, and Fortnite has already done this. If you have an account with Epic, you can play Fortnite with that same account because it is a free-to-play game on Switch, on Epic Game Store, on PC. You can do it on console. Like, it's all the same account. It's consistent across the board. So your progression, whether you do it on one of those platforms, is all identical.
Yeah, exactly.
With trading, each ecosystem or each, I guess, platform. So Steam people who have the game currently already on PC have a certain amount of items that have been founded or allocated based upon that player base that's on that platform. And when you have a huge influx of all these other regions, it changes the pricing and the trading prices that come with it. And you have to get the permission from all the developers. So you have to get Microsoft's approval, you have to get Sony's, you have to get Nintendo's, you have to get Valve's. All those people would have to come to a trade agreement and make sure that all those things come. And it's just not, because they don't have the control to say what does and doesn't happen then. They will never allow that.
An item on Xbox and an item on PC and an item on Switch are all different prices. And crashing the market,
it would destroy it.
I know a lot of people are like, who care about the traders of the community? Like the people who trade. Yeah, Lawler. Lawler and I were talking about this. I'm like, dude, this trading saved the game for me. I would have left the community 2 years ago, 3 years ago, if I didn't run into like crates and like items and like making my car look cooler. Like, I got so into trading. So for me, I owe it like me still being part of Rocket League, because now I'm just super into ranked and playing the game again, and then I'll go back and we'll love the items again, and it's just this balance for me. So I do think that there will definitely not be cross-platform trading ever.
No, it would kill the economy. They'll never allow it, and I don't think Sony and Xbox, like, they need the ability to control their own market. And if you're allowing them to trade it'll never happen.
And they talk about the progression. The progression is exactly like you were saying. You could just, I'm pretty sure you can, you can link your account, your Xbox account. So say you're playing on Xbox, you're a Diamond 2, you can link that account and you can use all those items on the Epic Store as you have on there. I'm guessing it's gonna like trade ban them, so you're not able to trade them.
Yeah.
If you're going for, I'm very excited to see how they do this.
I'm not sure how they're gonna do that. Like, say if I have an Xbox account, I log in on PC and I play. Is that going to mean that those items are now locked and I can't go back to Xbox?
And trade them through Xbox?
I don't know if it's going to like lock it.
Does it sync every time?
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work.
Like, if you buy, it's going to be very interesting and very cool. But dude, overall, I think the fire is lit. Huge positives with the possibility of negatives, without a doubt. And I'm glad I talked to you about it, because I was so overly positive that I was reading through some of these comments and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why this would be bad. I really don't. So like, let's talk to Lawler, who might have some bad insight on, like, you know, certain things like that.
I'm okay with being the Debbie Downer, man. I do what I got to do, you know, for the greater good.
I love it. I love it. Use code use code LOL in the
Sand,
the
S-A-N-D, Sand.
S-A-N-D or LOL, whatever you're feeling that kind of day, you know. It's just whatever kind of day you're having.
Just 50-50 here and there, you know, sprinkle it in. Odds, I get evens, John gets odds, you know, do whatever you gotta do, you know. No, seriously, guys, if you want to support John, I'm sure you all sub to him already, but if you don't, link to his description and his channel will be down below. It'll just have an @John. Just click on his name. Go support him. Go show all the content that I don't do, John does. So
all the content I don't do, Lawler does. And that is a fact, man. Thank you so much, Lawler. That was
always
sick.
A pleasure, brother. Always a pleasure. We got a game again soon.
Guys.
More than just Hyper, yeah.
Yeah, dude, but I love Hyperscape.
So
Holy crap.
So much fun.
I'm addicted to Hyperscape. Yeah, we'll talk about that off. All right, hey, later. Peace out.
Later, brother. Always a pleasure, man.
Ask more questions in the comments, because I will just try and answer them with text.
Down below, guys. I'll probably do a follow-up Q&A like I always do. So any big questions, if you guys do have, and you want more insight on like the business side or the esports side, because I used to work with Psyonix directly, please drop those down. I'll do my best to provide insight that I can without getting in trouble.
NDA. Are you? Well, actually, that's a whole other conversation. Peace out, everyone.
Today is a video that is super packed, and if you guys didn't see the other part of it, this is the tournament I was teasing. Another really big tournament that will be ending the RLCS offseason before we go into RLCS 10 or RLCS X. ESPN Esports, as you guys know, I'm pretty buddy-buddy with those guys. Have been working quite a while and trying to get this one announced, and it was just a matter of waiting for the final details to come through. ESPN Esports will be putting on the Rocket League Invitational, which will actually be this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The specific details, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about, but at this point, screw it, because it's already coming up. It'll be 8 teams. It's going to have 2 groups of 4, and they're going to play a round robin. The best teams to come out of that, or the top 3 teams that come out of that, will end up moving into the grand finals, which will be a single elimination breakdown. 25K on the line, a lot of really good teams. Figure the best in RLCS as it is an invitational, but I can't give the details specifically about who it is. That'll be going on this weekend over at twitch.tv/ESPN Esports. I really hope you guys tune in. It should be awesome. I mean, this is kind of the first test we get to see with some of these solidified RLCS rosters. This is post roster lock, so this is the first time that we are going to get to see the RLCS X teams actually sit down and compete before the season begins. That is going to wrap it up for this week of Rocket League related news. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, drop those down below and I'll do my best to respond and get back to you guys in a timely fashion. And if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, as well as hit subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the best Rocket League news that is on the YouTubes. But I'm out here, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll catch you next time. Peace.